What is going on, guys? JD from New York here, and this is episode number 50 of the #1 source right here on YouTube.com for WWE news and rumors, man. This is unfucking believable, man. What a week. What a week I had with you guys, man. Royal Rumble review was without question the most viewed review video I have ever done in my 2 years on YouTube, man. Close to 50,000 views and over 900 likes. You guys seem to agree with me when I state WWE Royal Rumble 2015 is by far the worst Royal Rumble out of all 28. And you guys agree with me. You came out to watch. You respected my opinion. Those who did not agree with me and my sentiments against Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble, well, you guys are shit out of luck, man. The truth fucking hurts. You guys don't want to hear the truth, and then you think by clicking a dislike button or leaving a nasty comment that it's going to get to me, man. I'm right, and you're wrong. Plain and simple. Okay, the truth hurts. I know. Please, you want a tissue? You want me to get you a tissue? It hurts, man. I know. Roman Reigns is garbage. Roman Reigns did not deserve to win the Royal Rumble. I clearly explained that. If you're one of the very few who missed it, link is down below for the Royal Rumble review, man. But regardless of that, thank you so much for watching me. Off the Script number 50, man. Part number 1 to start your weekend off the right way. This is for week ending February 1st, 2015, and boy, oh boy, do I got a lot of news for you guys, man. I got a lot of fucking news, especially news on Daniel Bryan. Where the fuck is WWE going to put Daniel Bryan on the road to Wrestlemania? Being that he was embarrassed and fucking humiliated in the Royal Rumble, not even lasting 5 minutes. What are they going to do with him? I got news on that all weekend. I'm not going to fucking give you all of it in one shot. But what I got for you today is the reason why Daniel Bryan did not win the Royal Rumble. The most over guy in the fucking wrestling industry, and you don't give him what he deserves. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Vince McMahon either needs to step down or he needs to just say, you know what, I'm fucking wrong. One or the other. And you know, neither of those two things are going to happen, all right? But Daniel Bryan news, man. Why did Daniel Bryan lose his chance at WrestleMania for a second year in a row at the Royal Rumble? Vince McMahon says no to Daniel Bryan after the Royal Rumble concluded. Bryan Alvarez and Dave Meltzer of F4WOnline.com and the Wrestling Observer Radio Show have provided some backstage news on WWE's plan for Daniel Bryan moving forward. As previously reported, Bryan was eliminated early in 2015 Royal Rumble, which caused a fan revolt at the event for a second year in a row. Man, that wasn't a fucking revolt. Philadelphia pretty much owned that rest of the show, man. They told you how they felt, and Mark Madden of WrestleZone.com and various other outlets was on Jim Ross's podcast. I would advise you guys to go listen to what he says about the entire situation. WWE fucked up right off the bat by having this event in Philadelphia. They fucked up after that by deciding on who they wanted to win, and the WWE should have known that with Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble, that this was going to happen. Shame on WWE for being so fucking blatantly stupid. All right, but regardless of that, the fans in Philadelphia caused a revolt for a second year in a row because we all want Bryan, and WWE didn't give us Daniel Bryan. With the fans reacting the same way they did before the 2014 Royal Rumble, which caused WWE to change its script and put Bryan in the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match at WrestleMania 30, many have been wondering if their actions on January 25th may be the catalyst to see Bryan get put in that card and match once again for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 31. However, as Alvarez and Meltzer reported, lightning is not likely to strike twice for Daniel Bryan, unfortunately. Word backstage is that WWE CEO Vince McMahon is dead set on having Roman Reigns take on Brock Lesnar for the WWE title at WrestleMania 31, and that he is not going to be persuaded into adding anyone else to the match this year. The feelings that Vince McMahon was frustrated about having to put Bryan in Mania last year, and damn sure will not have that happen 2 years in a row. Fuck Vince McMahon. He fucked up, and he's fucking senile to even think and believe that Batista would have been a good winner of the Royal Rumble last year, man. You think that bringing Batista back and making it so predictable is going to be the way for you? Did you really think Randy Orton and Batista would have been a great way to close WrestleMania, the 30th anniversary? Are you out of your fucking mind? How dare he even say he was frustrated by putting Bryan in the match, man? Bryan made the whole pay-per-view. Bryan made the whole pay-per-view even worth watching, man. If Bryan wasn't put in that situation, WrestleMania 30 would have been completely fucking garbage. Garbage. On top of that, you had The Undertaker lose his streak, which everyone fucking was in such shock that it ruined the entire pay-per-view regardless because of your fucking blatant stupidity. Meanwhile, The Undertaker should have never lost at WrestleMania. Simple. But Bryan being in the match last year, taking on Triple H, taking on Orton, beating Batista, beating all of Evolution, that made the entire pay-per-view so much special, man. That was one of the greatest moments that I've seen in a professional wrestler watching professional wrestling. That has been one of the best moments I've seen in the last decade, man. And you're going to take that away from the young guy? Give me a fucking break regarding that, man. Fuck Vince McMahon. So he's frustrated about having to put Bryan in the main event. He's not going to have it happen 2 years in a row. To McMahon, that would be like going to the well too often to appease the fans. WWE officials expect some fan outrage over Bryan's elimination in the 2015 Royal Rumble, or they expected some fan outrage over his elimination, but they were not prepared for the reaction that they actually received for it. Well, you want to book the Royal Rumble in one of the best wrestling towns in the country, who know what they want, who they want to see, and they're not going to be force-fed, manufactured bullshit like Roman Reigns. What did you expect? What did you expect? You need to have these events in these types of towns, man, because these are the only towns that are going to tell you exactly how it is. You're not going to hold the Royal Rumble in some fucking piece of shit hick town down south where they're just going to sit on their hands all pay-per-view and not fucking utter a word, man. Nobody's going to cheer for anything because they don't fucking care, man. They're there to waste 3 hours of their fucking meaningless lives, and they're going to fucking be okay with whatever you give them, man. No, not in New York, not in Philadelphia, not in Miami, not in places like that, man. Not Chicago. Give me a fucking break, Vince. He should be smarter than that, and he should realize that ever since the Royal Rumble was being booked in Philadelphia, that he had to do what the fans thought was right, man. The fans are what make this business. They paid a ticket. They could do whatever the fuck they want. Meanwhile, you gave them Roman Reigns, and nobody wants Roman Reigns. And he did the same thing with Wyatt, Ziggler, and Ambrose. If you guys recall how they got eliminated in the match. Big Show and Kane eliminated all three guys, which are huge IWC favorites. Do you want to know what Mark Madden said about that? Pretty much what Wyatt, Ziggler, and Ambrose went through and how they got eliminated was pretty much a big fuck you by Vince McMahon to the IWC and the fans of the WWE, because those are the guys we want to see. And you realize who was in the Final Four. Big Show, Kane, Rusev, and Roman Reigns. All four guys fit the characteristic of what Vince McMahon wants in a WWE superstar. He doesn't want Ziggler, he doesn't want Bryan, he doesn't want Ambrose, Wyatt, etc., etc. He doesn't like those types of guys, man. So you're meaning to tell me everyone down in NXT is not on Vince McMahon's radar? All I need to tell you guys is that Vince McMahon, sooner rather than later, should step down and just hand over the fucking reins, no pun intended, to Roman Reigns to Triple H. Triple H needs to run the WWE, man. The way he has been working with NXT, I'm fully capable, and I fully believe that he is capable of running Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown, man. It may be overwhelming at first, but Vince McMahon, this Royal Rumble proved one glaring thing, and we've been saying it all over the place, man. Everyone that I listen to, everyone in the IWC, all the fans around the world, polling how you thought of the Royal Rumble. Everyone says the same thing, man, on every fucking forum I went on in the past week. Vince McMahon is out of touch with the fucking WWE audience. And he went on Stone Cold's podcast to say that he knows what the fans want and et cetera, et cetera. Vince McMahon is a complete fucking bullshit artist. And he is fucking this company left and right because he's doing what he wants and not what the fans want, man. It's a different time. It's a different time in the age of WWE. Fans want a specific something, and if you don't give it to them like you did in Philadelphia, people will go out of their way and just say whatever they want. They'll revolt. They'll cancel their fucking network subscriptions, etc., etc. It's unbelievable how out of touch Vince McMahon is with the product. And he really needs to fucking take a long look at himself in the mirror and realize that what he has done, starting with the Royal Rumble, could potentially have a lot of negative effect on their prized possession known as Roman Reigns. So, moving on with the rest of this news article here. They were not prepared for it, and that's WWE's own fault, man. That is nobody else's fault but WWE. Apparently, things early on during the event were modified and moved around by McMahon and the company as the crowd had been hostile even before the Royal Rumble began. WWE reportedly was not ready for the amount of backlash given and directly solely at Reigns upon winning the Royal Rumble match. They brought in The Rock to try and save face for Reigns and give him a boost in fan appeal. But that didn't even work, and The Rock was even jeered and booed by the Philadelphia audience. He was reportedly upset about the entire Daniel Bryan situation and the way WWE Universe responded to the program. No one but McMahon and creative staff knows exactly what's next on the horizon for Daniel Bryan, but it is clear that fans want him to be their guy for quite some time, and until that is solidified in the annals of WWE history, they aren't going to give up on Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan is wanted by the audience, man. Think back to when we were young, man. You guys my age, when we were young. What did you see on WWE TV or WWF TV back in the day? And pay-per-view, 5-6 times a year with pay-per-view. You've seen guys like Bret Hart be pulled out of the Hart Foundation. You've seen Shawn Michaels be pulled out of the Rockers, right? Two of the greatest of all time, okay? Bret Hart was a tag team. Shawn Michaels was a tag team. Roman Reigns was a tag team. He was in the Shield, okay? Roman Reigns, according to Vince, is the next big thing, and Triple H, he's their fucking guy, right? So they gotta give everything to him in one fucking shot, man. They're not giving him things in small doses. They want to just fucking throw everything they got at him, right? It's the wrong way to go about it. They didn't do that with Bret Hart. They didn't do that with Shawn Michaels. Each one of those guys went on from their tag teams to start a soft singles career. They eventually moved up into the mid-card, both won the IC title, and then eventually they molded those guys into the guys that they became, world champions. Roman Reigns didn't even go through the middle process, man. He went from being in the Shield, right, and all the way up to WWE Championship at WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar. There's no in-between. This is what people are upset about. I don't understand why WWE just goes against everything that they did in the past with all these Hall of Fame guys and just completely disregard it when it comes to guys like Roman Reigns and all these fucking guys that they want. We don't want. WWE wants Roman Reigns. Now, how do you save Roman Reigns from this, man? How do you save Roman Reigns from this? You can't even get The Rock to be on board with this, man. The Rock was even upset. The Rock didn't even do anything. He couldn't do anything to save his cousin at the Royal Rumble. What does that tell you? If you're booing The Rock, that's all the fucking indication you need about how bad this decision was. I don't give a shit who you are. It was wrong. It was absolutely fucking wrong. But do you guys get my point about Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart and the way they started their careers pulled from tag teams? Why does Roman Reigns automatically have to be given the fucking championship? He goes from here all the way up here against Brock Lesnar. And that's another topic for a different day. I don't understand how they're going to make you and me and everyone else believe that Roman Reigns can beat Brock Lesnar. It's not going to happen. You're not going to convince anyone that Roman Reigns can legit beat Brock Lesnar one-on-one if there's not some type of fucking foul play. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I don't give a shit who you got working on that creative team, man. There's not one brain on that fucking creative team backstage that's going to come up with a realistic way for us to believe that Roman Reigns can beat Brock Lesnar. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You either have to turn Roman Reigns heel or align him with Paul Heyman. And Paul Heyman has to screw Brock Lesnar because Lesnar's on his way out. That's the only way to do it. That's the only way to do it. Or have Seth Rollins cash in. Or have Seth Rollins cash in and have Roman Reigns, win the title, lose it in the same night at WrestleMania to Seth Rollins. And Paul Heyman can screw Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns at the same time and eventually end up with Seth Rollins. You got a couple of different ways to go about it, but all in all, it's a completely negative situation, and one that WWE is going to have to do a lot of work to get figured out. They made the wrong decision. They should have went with the easy decision, and Bryan winning the Rumble and going on to fight Brock Lesnar. That's it. That's it. Or you could have had Seth Rollins win the title after that fucking epic triple threat match, and we could have had Bryan versus Rollins at WrestleMania. One or the other. I don't know. WWE apparently doesn't give a fuck what you and I think as fans of their product, all right? According to Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez, once again of F4W Online, The Rock, speaking of The Rock, not able to save that segment. The Rock was reportedly upset at the 2015 Royal Rumble, and it showed visibly in and out of the ring. As previously reported, Dwayne The Rock Johnson appeared during the event in an attempt to help his cousin Roman Reigns get over after his Royal Rumble match victory. However, Rock's appearance did not help to put Reigns over, as the fans in the arena relentlessly booed both men as Rock held Reigns' hand high in the air. The fans began to turn on the match and boo anyone that was not Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler, or Cesaro once Daniel Bryan was eliminated in the opening 20 minutes of the match. Those are the guys people want to see. Much like 2014's Royal Rumble event, WWE felt as if Bryan did not need to win the Royal Rumble match and headline WrestleMania, which led to the fans proverbially crapping all over the event and the outcome, and the company appointed Roman Reigns as the winner. Reigns suffered the same fate as Batista did just 1 year prior, practically getting booed out of the arena. The Rock was apparently unhappy with Bryan's elimination from the Royal Rumble and with how the fans responded. It is unsure of what exactly Johnson didn't approve of when it comes to Bryan being eliminated the way he was, but he was obviously irritated with the way WWE and the WWE Universe treated himself and his cousin Roman Reigns, who had just overcome the odds of 30 other men to become the #1 contender for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Hopefully this story leaks out and we get the reason why The Rock was really upset and what he thought about the entire situation of Daniel Bryan being eliminated from the Royal Rumble. I will have more news on Daniel Bryan tomorrow on Off The Script number 50 part 2. Bryan and Ziggler, if you guys are following them on Twitter, they are both lobbying for a match one-on-one at WrestleMania 31. What is the latest on that situation? And could we potentially have the best match at WrestleMania 31 upon us? Reigns, fuck him. Bryan and Ziggler. If that match actually does take place at WrestleMania, it would be okay. I know it would be okay. Not really the match that I wanted, not the outcome that I wanted. I would rather Bryan go for the WWE Championship and be given a fair chance with the fucking title, which he never had. But if we're going to get Ziggler and Bryan as a backup, I'm all for that, man. Fuck it. Book it as an Iron Man match. Book it as a submission match. Anything, man. Can you imagine those two going at it for 20, 25 minutes? Hopefully WWE listens to the fucking audience this time and potentially gives these guys just enough time to give us a 5-star match. But I got all the latest information on that tomorrow. Main topic on Off The Script, number 50, part 2, guys. Don't miss it, all right? Moving on. Social media has exploded with posts as fans unsubscribe to the WWE Network in droves following the 2015 Royal Rumble on January 25th. The event featured 3 tag team bouts, a triple threat match for the WWE title, and the annual Royal Rumble 30-man Battle Royal. However, the crowd at the event and many fans watching were not happy with the program presented to them in its entirety. The crowd and fans praised the kickoff match, which saw Cesaro and Tyson Kidd defeat Kofi Kingston and Big E of The New Day, and the triple threat WWE Championship match where current champion Brock Lesnar retained his gold. Although these matches were all well received, the main event was the 28th annual Royal Rumble match. As previously reported and rumored, Roman Reigns overcame the odds of 30 men and was deemed the new #1 contender for Lesnar's title and will meet him in the main event at WrestleMania 31. However, this is undoubtedly not what the fans in the arena and many fans around the world wanted. Following the elimination of Daniel Bryan, Twitter, Facebook, and the Philadelphia crowd present for the Royal Rumble all began to show their concern towards Reigns being deemed the victor. As Reigns finally emerged from the back to enter the arena, the crowd began booing him and would not stop for the remainder of the night. This happened during the 2014 Rumble when fans were smart to WWE's plans of making Batista the Royal Rumble winner, effectively keeping Bryan out of the WrestleMania 30 main event. However, fans would protest this decision and force WWE to change their Road to WrestleMania script altogether. Bryan would go on to win the WWE title at WrestleMania last year. Following Reigns winning, WWE sent former WWE Champion and Reigns' cousin The Rock out to the ring in order to try and sweeten the win and get the fans behind the former muscle of the Shield. If you got to do that, man, you are fucking absolutely desperate. However, this is also a huge fail on WWE's part, as the Philly crowd would soon turn on both The Rock and Roman Reigns. After the event went dark, many fans online began canceling their subscriptions to the WWE Network, posting images of their cancellation notice on Facebook and Twitter, all the while tagging WWE, Triple H, and Vince McMahon in their posts. Fans seem to be mad after feeling like the company has turned a blind eye to them 2 years in a row, and now they are doing whatever they can to stop investing in the product. I thought it was silly. I'm not going to unsubscribe from the network, man, but some of these diehard loyals, they're going to do whatever they can or whatever they think is right to get WWE's attention. Meanwhile, WWE gave you the big fuck you because a couple of days after that, they just announced that they reached 1 million network subscribers, which was obviously going to happen with the launch in Europe. So WWE, I found it to be quite the coincidence that the fans are revolting, the fans are canceling their subscription, and then 2 days later, WWE gives you the fucking finger and says, you know what, we hit 1 million subscribers even with all your cancellations, man. Go fuck yourself. So that was that. And WWE, really, they didn't care, man. They didn't care. They're not going to care. Those are the loyals. Those are the diehards. That's the internet wrestling community trying to do whatever they can to stir up something. And, you know, hopefully, possibly WWE changes their decision and rewrites something. Maybe includes Daniel Bryan in it. But according to Vince McMahon, he is dead set on what he's got planned for Roman Reigns. According to BW Insider, WWE tried to swerve the fans in terms of who would be in the Royal Rumble. As previously reported, many superstars such as Chris Jericho, Randy Orton, Alex Riley, Bo Dallas, they were all backstage and dressed to compete. But none of them were actually used in the main event Battle Royal. Triple H even mentioned certain names early on in the broadcast to continue to try and fool viewers into thinking certain legends and superstars would be in the match, even though they were not. WWE Hall of Famer Nikolai Volkov was a legend Triple H named during his ploy. According to the report, Shawn X-Pac Waltman was reportedly backstage, as well as a couple of other big names like Jake the Snake, in hopes of throwing off the WWE fans. Officials were hoping that it would leak that these superstars were backstage, even though they had absolutely no intention of using them. Bo Dallas was reportedly returning at this event, as was Sheamus, Rob Van Dam, and Orton at one point. Alex Riley was slated to appear during the event as well, Riley was taken off the pay-per-view's kickoff panel because he was to be used in the Royal Rumble match. However, due to the hostile crowd in Philadelphia, certain changes and moves were made, which included Riley being removed from his spot in the main event. It has been reported for weeks that Randy Orton was expected to make his WWE return with an appearance at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. According to PWInsider.com, Orton was backstage at the event and was dressed to compete. WWE ultimately decided to keep him off the show for storyline purposes. It is not known whether he was originally slated to be a participant in the 30-man Battle Royal or just to interfere in the WWE Championship match. Bo Dallas and Heath Slater were also backstage, but neither man was used. Orton is still expected to have a headlining match at WrestleMania 31, presumably against Seth Rollins. He's been out of action since November 3rd, and after being taken out by the Authority in that storyline. So Randy Orton, the reason why he was not used, for you guys who are asking me, Randy Orton was at the Rumble. He was not used because they did not want Randy Orton stealing the thunder away from Roman Reigns' victory in the Royal Rumble. Even though I'm pretty sure everybody would have cheered Randy Orton regardless, they didn't want that interfering with Roman Reigns actually winning the Royal Rumble. So that's the reason why they did not use Orton. But regardless of that, expect Orton back any week now. He's definitely going to be back. He's going to be feuding with Seth Rollins. And presumably, like the report says, it's going to be Rollins versus Orton at WrestleMania 31. And finally, guys, don't hold your breath if you're expecting Mr. Monday Night to make an appearance at WrestleMania 31 this year. According to PWInsider.com, there have been no talks between RVD and WWE for him to work the big event. WrestleZone.com first reported that RVD will be a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble match. If he was, it would likely be a one-off appearance, which he did not even appear. With the pay-per-view taking place in Philadelphia, the birthplace of ECW, the opportunity for a huge pop in front of a rowdy crowd is still there, or was still there for the taking, but WWE did not act on it. His last run with the company took place during the summer of 2014, operating under a contract that allowed him to work limited dates and head off to do independent shows. That is off the script, guys. Hope you enjoyed all the news regarding Daniel Bryan, and that's not it, man. I got a lot more news regarding Daniel Bryan. Part 2, WrestleMania 31, Bryan, Ziggler. Will it happen? And what is WWE's take on these two guys lobbying for a match? I got the latest news on that situation, all right? And what I got for part 3, guys, you're not going to believe this. Roman Reigns being fed lines during Monday Night Raw's interview with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. What a fucking failure Roman Reigns is turning out to be, man. All this plus so much more on Off the Script this weekend. Don't go anywhere this weekend. You don't want to miss what I got coming up for you. Thank you so much for all the love and support. We are on our way to 25,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for watching Off the Script. If you guys want more wrestling content, Joe Cronin Show doing his thing this week, man, following the Royal Rumble, giving you up-to-the-date information and news and rumors regarding WWE. Justin LaBar, Josh Eisenberg, and Brian Gulish of Chairshot Reality, WrestleZone.com. Go check those guys out. Show them some love and tell them JD from NY sent you over there. They also got a YouTube page if you guys want to go check them out. And TRN, I don't know what's going on with their YouTube. I don't think it's up and running as of yet, but if I hear anything, I will let you guys know when they are up and running once again, the guys over at TRN. Thank you guys for joining me for episode 50, part 1. If you did enjoy it, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, man. What the fuck are you waiting for? Like I said in the intro, this is your #1 source for WWE news and rumors right here on YouTube.com. I'm JD. I'll be back with more Daniel Bryan news and WrestleMania news on Saturday. And until then, take care, and I'll talk to you guys soon.